In this episode, Herb gets converted from a brush cutter to a digger. I'll show you guys how we cut through a super hazardous tree that fell across the road, how I heat up my lunch. I got pork ribs today. We'll destroy some brush and maybe a little mower versus recliner. What do you think? All on Nateness TV. It's just my life. Alright, so I gotta do a little bit of mechanicking first. This here is an electric over hydraulic valve body. This is what makes my whole entire machine run. Specifically, my hydraulic system run. All of the oil that makes my hydraulic cylinders extend and retract goes through this valve body. So I just had it rebuilt. Now I'm hooking it up onto my machine. Each hydraulic line has to hook up to each function. This is a pretty messy, oily process, but super gratifying when it works. Now, a couple years back, my dad had this thought. He said, hey, well, why don't we hook up a bucket and a thumb to our mower and then we can throw road? I couldn't really get it out of my head. I just kept thinking, yeah, well, why not? Why don't we do that? So with some help from my genius brother-in-law, he's a welder fabricator, he helped me create this bucket and thumb hookup. Now I'm able to go throw road, or throw road, that typically just means opening up a road, clearing a road. All right, sorry, you get the picture. Let's go try this thing out. Here's a mobilization process. Just getting to the job, a lot of times, is quite a process. Oh, and by the way, this episode goes out to my youngest viewer all the way over in Norway. Johan, this one's for you, bud.
I gotta stop here. Come on up.
Definitely don't want to hold these guys up. Appreciate it. Another one coming out behind you?
Oh, I'm the last one.
Alright.
Will this stretch too, or are you leaving this?
I think I'm going to take a pass on it because it's not their property, but it's brushing the truck, and I don't want to be raking my truck up every day. With heavy equipment, visibility is everything. You don't see things, you hit them. So you always got to make sure that your windshield is clean. So I finally got to the job with all my equipment. Just get warmed up, throw in road, and come around the corner, and here's a windfall. Now this tree here is in a really awkward position. Last windstorm blew this thing over, ripping the roots right out of the ground. I've got to get through this thing in order to finish clearing the road. Here it is. It's balanced on top of a stump. I don't know if you can see that. Wedged up against that tree there. And then this end is wedged up against this stump. And that root ball out there is dangling about 15 feet off the forest floor. If you nip it here, it's going to jump up and hit you in the face. If you nip it here, it's going to kick sideways and hit you in the face, and this side is going to go that way, and it's going to go up at the same time because it's balanced on that stump up there. The idea is to get behind something that you're not going to get hit with. You know, behind that tree is a good spot because that'll protect you from getting hit, but it's kind of a hard reach with the small little cab saw that I have. Yeah, this is a saw that I have with me. It's just the little 250. So what do you do when your saw is too small? You call in Dad.
You better have a path made to where when that thing decides to go, you can get this way where, because it can only come this way so far.
Yeah. Once this end lightens up, that's, you know, because that stump's going to drop down off that edge over there.
Yeah.
And then that's going to free up. It really can go either way.
Yeah, I just don't want it hanging on a little bit and then throwing it at you.
Right.
I got a choker.
I'm all lined up there. You can hook it right on the front of my machine, or I think I'd rather hook to the front.
Now this tree has a lot of tension on it, which means when we go to cut it, it's really going to bounce back at us. We got this buddy who was cutting a tree in a similar situation. The tree bounced back, hit him in the face. He's been recovering ever since. So we're taking this thing really slow and being really cautious with it. Okay, so we're all hooked up with the cables to the front of my machine. We're going to pull this tree back, get it out of the bind that it's in, and relieve some of the tension before we cut it.
Got pinched. We're all still alive. Got that 044 running pretty good. And a new bar and new chain on it.
Thanks to Carl's mower and saw.
So there you have it. Carl's mower and saw, Ferndale, Washington. Thanks, guys. Well, that was a bit of a rush. So now we're back to just clearing road. Here I'm doing a ditch out. What a ditch out is essentially a ditch that lets the water drain off of the road top.
I do for lunch? And I've got a barbecued pork rib. That was about 3 hours on the smoke and finished on the barbecue. There's not really a way to heat things up here. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? Jam them down in there so they don't fall out, but that's the exhaust. That's the manifold, double wrapped in tin foil. About 30-40 minutes, it'll be perfect. All right, I am hungry. It is lunchtime. Let's see what we got here. Hey. All right, start off with pork rib here. Oh, yeah. Oh, it smells beautiful. Wonderful. Take a look at that. Nice, delicious pork rib. Smoked on the outside, got a nice smoke bark on the outside. Homemade barbecue sauce. Finished off with the grill. Seal everything up with a nice, chewy, sweet, sticky rib here. I'm gonna give it a try. Oh. Hot, exceptional.
Nothing like a hot lunch on a rainy day. Well, time to get back to work. So here's my back blade setup. I got this blade on the back of my machine that I use to push debris off of the road surface. And while I'm pushing with my back blade, I'll also grab with my side boom and shove logs out of the way. Sometimes you just gotta back up and push a tree over because you feel like it, you know? I'm not that irresponsible. It was actually dead anyways, so it just needed to get pushed over. So here's a stretch of road where the trees have grown too close to the road. What I'm going to do is go along and pull them out with my machine. That way they're not growing over the road. Now, to rip a tree out of the ground, that's some heavy lifting. So I've got a special setup on my machine that enables me to do that. It's called an axle stabilizer by US Mower. Essentially all it is it's a cylinder that pressurizes automatically as you put load on it. So the heavier the tree, the harder the cylinder pushes and stabilizes your machine. I'll translate into caveman for you. Cylinder, stabilize, pull heavy load. Well, nothing like a good full day's work. Time to set up the tent, enjoy the sunset, and get ready for a big day of destruction tomorrow. My favorite thing about camping is just watching the sky move. It's like a never-ending painting. The only thing that would make it better is if I got to watch it with Bethany. Had a good night's rest, we're switched back over to the brush cutter. It's time to kill some brush. Let's get into it. Here, check this out. I'll slow it down for you. So we're mowing along, and all of a sudden, come around a corner, and there's a lazy boy. Why is there a recliner in the middle of the mountains? Best thing I could figure is somebody put it there for me to mow. So let's give it a try. Well, that made a really nice mess. Now I gotta pick it up. But what an awesome way to end the week, huh? Got a babysitter this weekend, so Bethany and I head to our favorite place to hang out. I know. But hey, you gotta get a little bit sappy, right? So this is pretty close to the same place where I asked Bethany to marry me. And she said yes. I was blown away. End of sappy story. Well, I had a complete blast with you guys on this episode. I'm kind of bummed out that it's all over. But hey, we got another one coming next weekend, so don't be too bummed out. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe so you know when it comes out. The whole reason I'm doing this thing is for you guys, so be sure and comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks for hanging out. Nateness TV. It's just my life.